Some presentations feel that there is a need for more communication through the medium of traditional and contemporary African music. After recognizing the connecting elements in musical interrelationship, we assume that it could be beneficial to deliver a music program with emphasis on the obscure. To do this, we must go over the stereotype image of trends and put forward a reality, which is antiquity. We are supplying the demand for naked, unadulterated cultural music performances, workshops, seminars, exhibitions, bazaars, developing contacts and creating space for new ideas. This is an introductory format for individuals and institutions that share an interest in African music, arts and crafts. It is hoped that we will be approached by the private and public sectors, community groups, educational bodies, folk clubs, youth clubs. Generally, all interested parties will be welcomed. The emphasis in entertainment is to capture the full attention of audiences through the medium of traditional African song and dance. Audience participation, use of traditional instruments, costumes, poetry and others sort of such. With contemporary sounds, we introduce the audience to modern related African music. Overall, we feel that we have designed our presentations to effect maximum authenticity and appreciation. Total and utter ignorance between some societies and the music of that society, and as opposed to other societies that seems to be totally separate and don't seem to share any sympathy at all with the knowledge of the other society's music. That reaffirmed the kind of deep thing in me that said, basically, I like a bit of pure music. But when I felt, over a period of time, that too much people was exploiting each other's records, not so much for the beauty of the music, but just for sheer competition and absolute nonsense, just rapping and stealing people's sort of ideas. I was a bit upset at one stage in the reggae arena, and for a while I was wondering what was going to happen next, because I felt blues and jazz and soul. I hope I don't get roughed up by anybody, but I thought it was an expression of too much of frustration of the black man who wasn't even allowed the opportunity to learn how to play his instrument, so he just went into a barn and started jamming. So I felt certain blues and soul didn't give me all the joy that some people hearing it. I felt it was a little bit nerve-wracking, to be honest. It's a sound of frustration, I thought, right, for a while. It's real deep down and things like that, and it was away from the pure music that I sort of knew when I was really young. One day I went into a record shop, usual reggae haunt and soul and funk haunt and Tamil Moto and carry on, and I heard this sort of beat sort of began and just did not stop for 10 minutes or more, and I knew for a start that the usual story was for some music to be no more than 3 minutes, for most of the time 4 minutes if you're lucky, and that sort of limitation on the idea of music, you know what I mean, in a typical 45-inch. That music was the first introduction, believe it or not, although I'm supposed to be of the African connection in Jamaica. I had never heard African music, not even down there in Jamaica, until I was in London, in a record shop, and I heard who happened to be Monsieur Fela Kuti, right? And all I could hear is something called Afrobeat, yeah? And it mesmerized me, that's the term for it, yeah? It mesmerized me because the Afrobeat syndrome was the first introduction to a kind of up-tempo, rhythmic kind of expression, you know, pure rhythm. I mean, I want to just break into it to describe it, but deep down I knew that music, you know, can do something to people, because the first thing I heard was this seemingly interwoven kind of rhythm pattern taking place, because the music is so beautifully interconnected. Yeah, they just it's designed to therapeutically hold people. Yeah, so it's like a rhythm set up and maintained by the band, you know what I mean, and they ain't stopping for nothing. You know, when you have certain music that is well and truly interwoven in such ways as, especially the juju music, you know, the way everybody's talking and communicating with each other. Most of Afro music is on the basis of to call somebody and the person to answer. So it's like being in the bush. The Caribbean sort of music orientation is so slightly different. Is because a lot of instruments was confiscated or taken away in the early days of sort of the African in the West, so to speak, because it was known as a fact, for instance, that certain music was not only the expression of great joy and let's have a beer, Harry thing, but more or less deep communication stuff, you know. And the instruments of Africa, they're all designed to say things to you. The thing is, a lot of people just take it as a joke now, and we overlook the realities of it. But it is a therapy, yeah. The real, true master musicians and griots, they call these people the griots in Ghana. The real griots can set their music in such a tempo that it works on the nerve system. It's captivating. It's easy to talk, you know, about it, but a person has to experience it, you know. Although drums and so on is the common instrument used, there always seems to be surrounded by, for instance, the rattle and a horn or a bell. Yeah, all these things wrap up that drum beat. They call certain drummers master drummers. Yeah, in African music, they have the master kora player. They have the alajis who play the talking drum. You know, they have been at it from, you know, age 2, 3, and that's how it began, you know, in the very first place, which is to have communication through drum, yeah, passing a message through the bush and so on. Monsieur fellow cutie.
Oh, at home, you know, you're always afraid of government. Oh, no, government, everybody's afraid of government, man. Like you're asking me now, aren't I afraid? Afraid of what?
I think the Nigerian government will probably do anything to stop you. Are you afraid?
No, shit, I can't be afraid of that. I'm not afraid. I was inside 17 February 18, 1,000 soldiers were in my house. They took me last. I still wasn't afraid. And they got me, they beat me, and almost killed me. And I saw what they did to other people. I knew they were going to kill me if they caught me. I discussed with an American friend with me that time. I said if they catch me, they will kill me, man. He says, yeah, they'll kill you, man. I'm not afraid of anything, man. You see, the point is, if you're afraid, then you don't have a philosophy. Aha.
It's the strength of mankind. It's the strength of mankind, the philosophy.
Yes. Then if you're afraid, you don't have a philosophy. If you have a philosophy, you're not afraid. You see, but it's what about if I don't die? That's the point. Who makes people die? Not human beings, man. Reagan was shot at close range. He should be killed. Why didn't he die? Because he's not supposed to die, man. Reagan cannot die now. He must see what he has done. Reagan was in California, man, when the Black Panther started. Right? Oh, fuck. He was a big operator of Black Panthers. That motherfucker is a racist, man.
Police force, Nigerian Army, Nigerian Navy, Nigerian Maja.
You see, so he cannot die so easily. Death is a beautiful thing. Don't you know that? Haven't they told you? Oh, fuck. It's a beautiful thing, man. Don't let anybody jive you. All these Christians and Muslims talking about death, afraid of death. No, that is transition. Yeah, so Reagan cannot die. The Pope cannot die. They must see what they have done.
The nation that can bomb, that has the energy to destroy, is the most powerful nation in our own world today. Whereas the most powerful nation should be the nation that makes things grow. Am I right or wrong? So America cannot be the most powerful nation in the world.
You see, because when you die, then you start to be on the level, then you're happy. The people in the world are happy, but you are happy. Pope cannot have the beauty of death. It was shot too, he didn't die. But these people cannot die.
As not the fire, no, sir.